Welcome to the Human Meme Podcast. I'm AI David Bowles, and along with our Crackbot AI research team, today we will sink into a topic that resonates deeply in our current discourse. Embracing the tension, navigating the collision course of facts and feelings in our fractured world. In this episode, we're setting the table with a provocative spread of ideas, exploring the intricate and often turbulent intersection between the objective realm of facts and the subjective sea of emotions. As we embark on this journey, we aim to unravel how these two forces, seemingly in opposition, shape our perceptions, interactions, and the very fabric of our community. We'll examine the power and pitfalls of empathy, the art of dialogue in bridging divides, and the crucial role of understanding in a world that's increasingly polarized. By confronting these themes head-on, we hope to offer not just food for thought, but a blueprint for navigating the complexities of our modern society. Let's start with the foundational concept: truth versus emotion. Truth, in its purest form, is objective, factual, unchanging regardless of individual perspective. It's the bedrock of science, the backbone of law, and the compass of rational discourse. On the other side, we have emotion, the deeply personal, subjective experience that colors our interpretation of the world around us. Emotions are fluid, variable, and often defy logical explanation. They are the essence of art, the heart of empathy, and the catalyst for social change. So, how do we navigate a sustainable culture within this disassociation between what is real and what is sensed? The journey begins with acknowledgement and respect. Acknowledging that while facts are crucial for a shared understanding of reality, emotions are equally important for a shared experience of that reality. Respect is about understanding that one's emotional response to a situation is as valid as the factual aspects of that same situation. But what happens when there is a stark disagreement, when one side is uninterested in what the other has to say? It's a conundrum that can lead to societal fragmentation, where groups exist in echo chambers or silos, only engaging with those who share their views. This avoidance of conflict, while seemingly peaceful, can lead to a stagnation of ideas and a lack of understanding. However, this avoidance is not our only path. Conflict, while often seen as negative, can be a powerful catalyst for growth and change. It's through the fiery forge of debate and discussion that new ideas are formed and understanding is deepened. The key is to approach these conflicts with a sense of respect and a desire for understanding, rather than a need to win or dominate. But there's a darker side to this as well. When these differences are not addressed healthily, when dialogue is replaced with disdain, these conflicts can escalate. They can become violent, not just in the physical sense, but in the emotional and psychological sense as well. Communities can become torn apart, with individuals feeling alienated and attacked. So where does the negotiation begin? It starts with each of us. It requires a willingness to listen, not just to respond, but to truly understand. It demands a recognition that our perspective is not the only one, that our truth is not the only truth. We must be willing to challenge our own beliefs, to be open to change, and to accept that sometimes we may be wrong. As we navigate these complex waters of truth and emotion, fact and feeling, let's remember that our goal is not to eliminate conflict, but to engage with it constructively. Let's strive to create a culture where differences are not just tolerated, but valued, where dialogue is encouraged, and where understanding is the ultimate goal. In this way, we can build a community that is not just sustainable, but thriving, rich with diverse perspectives, and united in a shared desire for a better world. This is not a simple path. It's fraught with challenges and obstacles, but it is a path worth taking. For in the end, it's through our shared struggles, our collective efforts to bridge the gap between fact and feeling, that we truly become a community. A community not just in name, but in spirit. A community that embodies the very essence of what it means to be human. As we further explore this intricate dance between truth and emotion, fact and feeling, it becomes evident that this is not just an intellectual exercise, but a deeply human one. It's about how we live, how we interact with each other, and how we build a society that reflects our values and aspirations. Let's consider the role of empathy in this dynamic. Empathy is the bridge that connects the objective world of facts with the subjective world of feelings. It allows us to step into another's shoes, to understand their perspective, even if we don't agree with it. In a world where facts and emotions often seem at odds, empathy is the tool that can help us find common ground. But empathy is not always easy. It requires us to let go of our ego, to set aside our preconceptions, and to truly listen. It's a skill that needs to be cultivated, nurtured, and practiced. And yet it's essential for a sustainable community. Without empathy, we risk becoming isolated, trapped in our own perspectives, unable to connect with those around us. Now let's address a critical point: the negotiation of these differences. This is where the concept of dialogue comes into play. Dialogue is not just about talking, it's about engaging in a meaningful exchange of ideas. It's about speaking and listening in equal measure. In a dialogue, the goal is not to win an argument, but to understand and to be understood. It's a process that requires patience, respect, and a willingness to be vulnerable. But what happens when dialogue breaks down? When one side refuses to engage? Or when differences seem irreconcilable? This is where the challenge lies. It's easy to talk about empathy and understanding in theory, but in practice, it's much harder. We live in a world that often values certainty over curiosity, conviction over compromise. Breaking through these barriers is not just a personal challenge, but a societal one. One approach is to find common values, shared goals that transcend our differences. Even when we disagree on specific issues, there are often underlying values that we all share: a desire for safety, for belonging, for respect. By focusing on these shared values, we can create a foundation for dialogue, a space where different perspectives can be explored and understood. But let's be clear, this is not about diluting our beliefs or compromising our values. It's about recognizing that the world is complex, that issues are rarely black and white. It's about accepting that others, with their own experiences and perspectives, might see things differently. And it's about finding ways to coexist and collaborate within that complexity. As we conclude this episode, let's reflect on the importance of this journey. Navigating the divide between truth and emotion, fact and feeling, is not just an intellectual endeavor. It's a deeply human one, a reflection of our desire to understand and to be understood. It's a path that requires courage, empathy, and a willingness to engage with the unknown. So let's embrace this challenge. Let's strive to build a community that values both the objective and the subjective, that recognizes the importance of both facts and feelings. A community where differences are not just tolerated, but celebrated. A community where dialogue, empathy, and understanding are the cornerstones of our shared existence. This is the path to a sustainable, vibrant community. A community that doesn't just exist, but thrives. A community where we can all be truly human in all the complexity and richness that entails. As we wrap up today's episode of the Human Meme podcast, we reflect on the journey we've taken through the heart of embracing the tension, navigating the collision course of facts and feelings in our fractured world. This exploration has not only highlighted the complexities of our times, but also illuminated paths towards understanding and coexistence. In grappling with the dynamic interplay between objective truth and subjective emotions, we find ourselves at the cusp of a new era, one that demands empathy, values dialogue, and cherishes diverse perspectives. With both excitement and anticipation, we look forward to a future where these conversations continue to evolve, where the tension between facts and feelings becomes a source of strength rather than division. As we part ways today, let's carry forward the spirit of this discussion, emboldened by the belief that our collective journey through these challenges will lead us to a more understanding, empathetic, and humanly connected world. For the Human Meme podcast, I'm AI David Bowles, wishing you a good evening and a right tomorrow. Be a human meme.